morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to All Faiths Unitarian Congregation. It's good to see you all here as we celebrate Independence Day. I see a lot of red, white, and blue out in the audience. I see our president, Marge DeGalbo, is here with her new jewelry that she'll be wearing for the next few months. Welcome, Marge. We're glad to see that you're back and feeling good. Today we're celebrating Independence Day. My name is Regina Kilmartin, and I'll be your worship associate. Here at All Faiths, you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people with many beliefs. You can bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, and your expansive heart. At All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding the sacred. So no matter who you are, where you are on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are always welcome here. Is there anyone visiting for the first or second time? Anybody? Oh, welcome. We're glad you're here. If anyone would like to know more about All Faiths, you can usually see Fran way back in the corner. She's not here today, but look for anybody who looks like they've been here more than once, and they'll be able to tell you a lot about us. Actually, our board members, it all says board member on their name tag, so grab one of those people. Let me see. Today we are going to honor and greet the ancestors who owned our land before us. You will see at the top of your order of service the land acknowledgement, and if you would recite that with me. We honor and greet the ancestors and descendants of the Calusa people, whose land we are grateful to call our home. We honor your legacy. This month, July, is Share the Plate with Visuality. They are recommended by our Rainbow Connection Justice team. So if you would like to make a donation to them, you can do it throughout the whole month. Just write Visuality on the memo line. You can make the check out to All Faiths and write Visuality on the memo line. And the rest of our upcoming events are on the back of your order of service. The week of July 10th through the 14th, we're going to be having construction inside, so the building will mainly be closed that week. And now, please rise and body your spirit as we sing together hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. And now I would like to ask Carol Latino to please come forward as we light our chalice. And if you would, please repeat with me the words that are written in your order of service. As we light the chalice, let us contemplate all the freedoms that we have and how those freedoms require us to take responsibility for our lives and our lives of others.
At this time, I invite you to come forward and share joys, sorrows, and gratitude with us. It is a time where we get to know each other and a time to support each other in love. So please come forward if you have something you'd like to share with us. Nicole.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Nicole. Hi, today I'm sharing a very, very great joy. My biggest blessing is here with me today. She's a retired nurse just like I am. She's 102. She's doing great, so we're blessed.
All right.
Wow, you have great genes, 102. Okay, we plan on having you around for a good long time. All right.
Hi, I'm Regina, and I am. Is my mic on? Do I have both of them on? Oh, let me turn this one off. Is that better? That's better. I'm very grateful today to be here. Yesterday, I had the scariest experience of my life. Forward Power and Light, many months ago, put in this gigantic concrete pole. It looks like a menorah, really, with huge wires coming off of it. After the hurricane, my neighbor and I started calling the pole the goddess because we had power in 8 hours and nobody else had power anywhere in the state. Yesterday, we were sitting out front. A bolt of lightning struck it. And I'm telling you, I was never so scared in my life. There was silent electricity everywhere. The wires started oscillating, and the bang was so loud, the car alarms started going off in the cars. So when they say, if you hear it roar, go indoors, do it.
We are grateful that you are here with us. And you tell Zeus to stay away, or Thor, whoever those gods of lightning are. There's our gator gal.
Good morning, everybody. I never pass up a chance to talk to you. As you come up the walk into our building today, you must have been struck or maybe even overwhelmed by the beauty of the plants on both sides. They're healthy, they're beautiful, and they welcome us. And who is responsible for that beauty and that growth? They are watered and tended by something called Judy Juice. And Judy, would you stand just for a minute? She is responsible and has... And don't overlook the Serenity Garden, which is just a step or two away. There's a pond in there, it's very small, and some beautiful hanging somethings that are very nice. Thank you.
We appreciate very much the beauty, and as Linda said, as you walk in, you can't help but notice it. When Donna Lee and I arrived this morning, I stopped there and I said, we're so blessed to have all this beauty, right? I mean, it's such a wonderful thing just to come to the front of this church and see all the flowers and the butterflies and all the Glory and Judy and a few volunteers make all of that possible. And so she's a role model for the rest of us to be good volunteers. So when we have appeals for you to participate in various things, we ask that you do join in. I'm lighting this candle for Fran and Bob Way. As you know, Bob had a serious chest infection, and he's receiving therapy at home. Fran did get a mild case of it, and she's still coughing a little, so she said, greet everyone, she's okay, but she didn't want to come and share that with you. And I'm lighting this candle for the spirit of interdependence. Now that we have achieved our independence, it's time to move forward into a spirit of recognizing that we are interdependent upon each other and of all life on the planet Earth. We are not a bunch of isolated individuals. We are interdependent. And in 2000, I gave a sermon and wrote the Declaration of Interdependence. So that's what I'm celebrating. And I'm lighting this candle for all of you who have joys and sorrows in your heart. And may you go forth this week and visit those who are not able to come and join us, and remember them with cards and phone calls.
Now I would like to ask everyone to take a deep breath and close your eyes, center yourself, and let us turn our hearts and our minds to today's service and contemplate our blessings. And now if you would please rise and body your spirit as we sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. And our opening words today are by Langston Hughes. That justice is a blind goddess is a thing to which we black are wise. Her bandage hides two festering sores that once perhaps were eyes.
Far we've been traveling far without a home, but without a star. Free, only want to be free. We huddle close, hang on to a dream. On the boats and on the planes, they're coming to America, never looking back again. They're coming to America. Home doesn't seem so far away. Oh, we're traveling light today in the eye of the storm, in the eye of the storm. Home, turn you into a shiny place, make our bed and we'll say our grace. Freedom lights burning warm, freedom lights burning warm. Everywhere around the world, they're coming to America. Every time that flag's unfurled, they're coming to America. Got a dream to take them there. They're coming to America. Got a dream they've come to share. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America today. 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 My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing, of thee I sing today. 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 Today.
Thank you, Carlos. Today's reading is The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands, you storied pomp, she cries, with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. And now, if you would please rise in body or spirit as we sing together hymn number 1018, Come and Go With Me.
Go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. In that land, there'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that
We moved, we clapped, because it's a wonderful thing to have freedom and justice in any land. I know you agree. I'm not going to ask you if you do, because if you don't, there may be a little problem. But freedom and justice is a wonderful thing, and it's a great thing to sing about. And I'm so glad that we all joined in to sing. Thank you so very much, Carlos. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Alberita Johnson. You can call me Albie, and I have the honor and privilege to share with you all this morning. Well, Independence Day is almost upon us. And I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling as patriotic as I once was. Somehow or another, my patriotism is kind of hiding. Things are going on in this country. We're going to talk about today whether independence, which is also liberty, freedom, and justice, is really ours here in these United States that we call home. So in 2 days, we're going to celebrate Independence Day. We're going to honor liberty and justice for all. But this particular holiday has conjured a myriad of thoughts and emotions for me, and just about for most of my life. And many of them come in the forms of questions such as, liberty and justice, can they exist separately? Should we separate them? As a nation currently divided against itself, yes, we are, I say yes, they can exist separately, but maybe they should not. In my opinion, they are the pillars supporting the weight of our nation. Without them, this experiment called America will falter, if not completely fail. 2 days. 2 days from now, our nation will celebrate the 247th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. It's the birth of our nation. This holiday, it commemorates freedom, more commonly known as the 4th of July. Now, we have another holiday that also celebrates freedom. We celebrated that 13 days ago. I don't know if many of you are aware of it, but 13 days ago, this nation celebrated the 158th anniversary of Freedom Day, Jubilee. It was on June 19th. This holiday of freedom and liberty and independence was to commemorate the end of slavery. We call it Juneteenth. For the people of this nation, we now can celebrate because we have 2 federal holidays commemorating freedom. One of them for a fledgling nation that began in 1607 with the arrival of the first colonists, and another commemorating freedom of African American slaves that began in 1619 with the arrival of the very first African American slaves. Not many nations have 2 separate holidays celebrating freedom. This is a fact that I'm proud of. I hope you are too. You see, freedom is a precious gift. None of us should go without it. When last before you, I stood right in this same place, and we had a chance to talk about dreams and other magical things. And we learned that much of what we dream and inspire us are there not just because we imagined them, not just because we dreamed about them. They inspire us because we see that by our dreams and our imaginations that our forefathers grew a nation from that. Dreams and imaginations, a new way of being, a new way of living, a new way of walking and talking and being amongst one another. They imagined a nation that was based on freedom and justice. We call that nation America, and she is a marvel. Look at us, all dressed up in our red, white, and blue. She is a beacon of hope to the world, and she continues to draw thousands to our shores every single day, just as he's saying, come on, come to America. Opportunity still abounds, and there is liberty and justice to celebrate. Well, this dream called America, she is a wonder. But there are so much more things to talk about. So I'm going to talk a lot about America today, about America's history. We're going to talk about these two right in front of me. I'm going into great detail about these two wonderful goddesses. Yes, we have right here Lady Justice and we have Lady Liberty. And we're going to talk about them because, in my opinion, their symbolism, what they stand for, the pillars of our nation are built upon these two ladies. These two ladies. So, how did we get here? How did we end up here in America anyway? And are we a nation of liberty and justice? These are the kind of things that come up inside of me. Whenever I'm going to stand up and share, I have a million questions. What am I talking about and who am I talking to? So today I hope that I talk really clear and you understand what I'm trying to say and that I am effective. Well, let me tell you about this America. It is a long story. We're going to go back, and I'm going to go quick. In 1607, the first colonists arrived. Why did they show up? Well, for the same reasons that people continue to come here today. They wanted freedom. Is that not so? Of course, they wanted freedom. They wanted freedom of religion. They wanted better economics. They wanted a better life. There was potential for wealth here. There was safety. There was education. There was land. So they came. And in the 18th century, towards the end, we as a country were ripe for independence. And men, let me tell you about your men. These men, these English men, they weren't playing around. They started thinking about all this business going on, but the government should not tax a populace unless that populace is represented in some manner in the government. We all know the phrase, no taxation without representation. Oh, of course, and that was the impetus, right? To the Boston Tea Party. Boom! December 16th, 1763. And then something else happened. Well, you know, the British weren't taking that. What? You dumped the tea in the harbor? Are you protesting? They didn't like it. They considered it an act of treason, and they responded harshly. And that escalated, and we had a war. The American Revolution, 1765. 10 years later, we had another war, the American Revolutionary War. And what happened there? Well, finally, the colonies secured their independence from the British Crown and established the United States as the first nation state. That was the 4th of July, y'all, 1776. It was only 169 years after the first colonists arrived. That didn't take long at all. But I want you to think with me, just imagine with me, hearing these words for the very first time. You are colonists, and you hear this. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the line, when I was a young girl, I kept replacing that pursuit of happiness with justice. Life, liberty, and justice. Maybe I got it from the Pledge of Allegiance, I don't know, but it took me a while to realize, that's not what it really says. It says the pursuit of happiness. But for me, for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, in my humble opinion, y'all, there is no life, there is no liberty, or any right to the pursuit of happiness in this country without justice. I'm being specific here. So that's going to bring us to what? Our second big-time holiday celebrating independence. Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Liberty Day, that other holiday celebrating freedom. Yeah, I'm going there. It was June 21st, 2021. That wasn't that long ago, was it? That's when President Joseph Biden signed a bill establishing Juneteenth as a federal holiday, commemorating the end of slavery in the United States as a result of another long story in the history of this nation. So here it comes. 1861, 1865, American Civil War. Yes, it broke out. We were at war with ourselves. After decades of simmering tensions and carrying on between the North, the Union, and the South, the Confederacy, all kind of issues were on the table. But we know the main issue was slavery, states' rights, federal authority. It was about the money. Well, we celebrated on Juneteenth, the anniversary. This is what happened on Juneteenth. The Union issued a general order, number 3. It was issued by a Major General Gordon Granger, and this was on June 19, 1865. This issue was issued in the state of Texas. Imagine the Union soldiers on their horses or walking or whatever they did back then. They made themselves available to the state of Texas because they had to go through this state to make sure that over 250,000 enslaved black people would learn of their freedom, their liberation. Just in one state, 250,000. Just multiply it by all the other slave states. You'll know what I'm talking about. That was 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. 2.5 years had gone by before the slaves in Africa found out. I'm sure their owners were completely aware of it. But the slaves themselves are still there. So, we're going to imagine again. Imagine with me hearing of your freedom 2.5 years after you have been freed. Imagine the atrocities and savagery, that's a word I gotta get good, inflicted upon the African American slaves that may have been avoided if the slave owners simply obeyed the law. You see, we have to know this. This is important, y'all, because things are changing. They're changing fast. Resistance is also a form of oppression. And that's the way that they use it. We're just going to ignore it and still do this to another human being. Resistance, a form of oppression. Who would have thought? But that was a long time ago, wasn't it? And yet the legacy of oppression continues to linger. But we are not going to shy away from any day celebrating liberty and justice as far as I'm concerned. We know that people have lost their lives, battles were fought for our liberty, for our justice. We must not ever forget, or we are doomed to repeat it over and over again. My friends, I'm going to let you know something here. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to join in the festivities and celebrations next Juneteenth. That'll be on June 19th, 2024. So as I said, about 2.5 years ago, Juneteenth was established as a federal holiday. Unfortunately, many people are unaware of the holiday, or they are ambivalent, asking questions like, well, why do we need to? Well, I fall under the latter. I was a bit ambivalent. I grew up in New York. I didn't know anything about Juneteenth. I had never heard of it. And then I moved to Florida. I was here. I moved here about 20-something years ago, and when I got here, I learned of the holiday. I was so happy and excited. I was like, this is a good thing. How come I didn't learn about this in school? Was it a secret? We all know about the Civil War. It was a significant part of our history. But Juneteenth, I had no idea. I didn't know this thing happened. So half of my life, I was unaware of a point in American history that is so significant in this country that it is now a federal holiday. Imagine, almost your whole life, you had no idea that this thing is happening. Additionally, this specific holiday is directly related to me personally, my ancestors, my people, African Americans of slave descent, Juneteenth. It reminds me that although the Declaration of Independence states that all men are created equal, I know that that did not mean all men. It didn't even mean women. It meant all white men. And as a result, we have 2 holidays. So there's your answer. Why do we have 2? That's your answer. All men, not all women, not all people, just men. So we have two holidays now, the 4th of July, Independence Day. In 2 days, we're going to celebrate the 4th of July with all the pomp and circumstance that we can muster up. Many of us are going to be down at the end of the bridge looking up to see the fireworks, or we'll be home and watching it on TV. We'll listen to patriotic songs. Some people may have put their flag out, or maybe they didn't. Some people may have taken their flags in because there's so much going on right now. Like I said when I got up here, I'm not sure if I'm feeling very patriotic these days or if I want to express it. You see, we understand intuitively that something is terribly flawed within our republic. How do we know it for real, though? Got it intuitively. But how do we know for real? Because it's all over the news, 24 hours a day. Even our flag that we pledge to somehow has been hijacked. Where is the liberty? Where is the justice? And is it for all of us? These were my questions when preparing. Well, I don't know about you, but I can benefit from imagining like our forefathers did. I can imagine a better world. I would like to dream of a we, not me, way of being. I am one, and you are one. But when you put us all together, we are mighty. So how can we mighty, united people make it happen? Where do we start? How can we make any change? We know we must not only face the problems of our ghost, of our past, but we must overcome them. Pretending they don't exist does nothing. Remaining ignorant or choosing to is not the answer. So I ask you, what can we do? Can we do it? What symbols, what words, what actions can we take that will remind us of our dreams, of our forefathers' dreams, of our ancestors' dreams, of our dreams? The fathers of our nations dreamed of a nation of liberty, life, and the pursuit of happiness. And they recognized that life without liberty was no life at all. But can we have liberty, genuine liberty? Is there any freedom without justice? Ooh, you're getting so quiet. Yeah, listening intently, I appreciate it. Well, we all know what we have been liberated from, taxation without representation. And following that, the abolition of slavery. So yeah, we've been liberated in a sense. But what about justice? Is it possible to pursue or achieve happiness without justice? Today, I think we can find some answers to those questions with the help of two mythical figures, namely Ladies Liberty and Justice. If you haven't noticed, they're right here. I'm going to hold them up so you can see them. Aren't they beautiful? And I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about them because it's safe. It's a safe thing to talk, and this is a hard talk right now. So, we know we've been liberated again from taxation without representation and the abolition of slavery. But what about that justice? Can we actually have it? Can we have it? Today, I think we can find some answers to the questions with the help of these mythical figures, Ladies Liberty and Justice. These are two iconic figures. They are two of the most powerful symbols of this nation that we call home. Liberty, justice. We have been reciting the premise for years. We did it in school. With liberty and justice for all. It's part of our pledge to flag and country. So these magnificent ladies, they're our guideposts to our pledge and our patriotism. They remind us of the greatness of this country. And they personally make me proud to be an American. So I'm going to pick up Our Lady Liberty, and I'm going to hold her and point out some things. If you've ever been there, you may remember, but if you have not, you're going to remember because I'm going to tell you all about it. You're going to think you were there. Our Lady of Liberty, she was dedicated on October 28th, 1886, and she's the figure of a Roman goddess libertas, Latin for liberty or freedom. She is known as the Liberty Goddess, and she holds a torch above her head. It's in her right hand. And her left hand, she carries a nice Latin word again, but I'm going to try and say it, tabula ansata. And on it, oh, it looks like she must have fell over. The scroll that's there, it's inscribed, and it says, July 4th, 1776, which is the 4th of July. And of course, it's in Roman numerals because we all know our Roman numerals when it goes all the way to July 4th, 1776. I know if you saw that, you know exactly what it meant. You would know. You would know. Of course, that is the date of our Declaration of Independence. Now, on this one, it's a little hard to see, but I see some broken chains here and a shackle. Now, these broken chains and shackle lie at her feet, and they commemorate the national abolition of slavery in 1863. See that? The French were on. They knew what they were talking about. Her archetypes are freedom and independence. Like I told you, these ladies are our pillars. Freedom and independence. What an archetype to embody. Now we're going to talk about Lady Justice for just a few moments. And then I'll hit you real hard at the end. Now you can take it. Lady Justice, is she not stunning? Take a look at this Lady Justice. She is all blinged out. I will not say who this belongs to, but yes. Lady Justice can be traced back to 2375. She didn't look like this then. 2375 BCE, before the Common Era, in Egypt, as the goddess Maat, M-A-A-T, who personified the ancient Egyptian concepts of truth, balance, harmony, law, order, morality, and of course, justice. Her archetype, Maat, she is the original archetype of justice. But this lady here, as we know her today, she is the personification of justice in ancient Roman art as Justitia, the goddess of justice. Now she holds in her hand scales. They signify the evidence should stand on its own, because you see it's not resting on anything. So the evidence stands on its own. And in the 16th century, blindfolds were added. And why would we do that? To represent the justice is impartial. And she holds a sword. I love the sword. Love, love, love this sword. It represented authority in ancient times. Now, so I can let you get a good idea about this. If you ever saw King Arthur, remember the knights at the round table? And how they pull out their swords when they get to the table, and they all put them right on the table, and all the points are kind of at each other. You see, that was letting you know, we have the authority. See, they let you know. Not everybody can walk in here and whip their swords out and lay it on this table. We have the sword of authority. She has a sword of authority. So this sword conveys two ideas: authority, and that justice can be swift and final, just like it was in those days. And if you were a little closer, you would notice there's a book and a snake under her foot. She is often depicted like that, with a snake in the book. There's very strong symbolism at the feet of both of these goddesses. Yes, they have moved from just iconic figures to goddesses. All right. So, when I said to you that these figures hold significant relevance for the African American at their feet, I'm just going to talk really briefly about it. I'm going to go to Lady Liberty first. Lady Liberty, those chains at her feet and the broken shackles. It was a time when I would be very upset. I lived in New York. I used to go past the Statue of Liberty in the boat all the time, but I would never get in. I would never get off that boat because I didn't understand the significance of her. She'd mean nothing to me and my family. Why do I want to go over there? My name is not listed anywhere in there. I wasn't welcomed that way, so I wouldn't go. But I would go around the harbor all the time. But of course, an adult, you start to learn and you get curious and you start to wonder, what in the world? This must be something. What in the world do those chains at her feet mean? And I found out that the French had originally had those at her hand. But the United States, as they were all the way back then, was all upset. We can't have that. Black people might get happy. We got to put it down at the feet. And we had just put this July 4th business there. But the French knew what they were doing, so they moved it down to the feet, presented her to us. But I know what those feet stand for. I know that it means that slavery, oppression, racism, and all of that whatnot is behind her. She is in forward motion. You'll see it at her feet that she doesn't look like she's just standing like this with her feet planted. No, one foot is a little ahead. So we know that she's moving. She's moving away from the past, and those shackles are broken. That let me know right then and there that she was talking to me, that she was talking to anybody who's ever been oppressed, anybody who's been othered. She's letting us know, oh no, not here, not in these Americas. Is that true? We'll see. Now let's think about Lady Justice. She's so beautiful there. Lady Justice, she's standing there. She has a sword, so she has authority. She is somebody. But the feet, like I said, those feet, she has her foot on a book. That book represents laws, rules, the way that we should govern ourselves. She has a foot on it. And she has the authority to have her foot on it. And then there's a snake. What in the world? We have a book, a sword, and a snake. What do they symbolize? What do we get from that? What do we take from that? Well, you know what? What did that snake originally mean to people? People got afraid of the snake. We thought it was like the devil was going to, the devil. That's what that meant. Well, she's letting you know, I got my foot on the head of this snake. I'm crushing the head of this snake. In other words, lies, lawlessness, wickedness, poor governing is being crushed. Just like the snake. Because her authority is beyond all of that. Oh, these two goddesses, they're telling us something. And this let me know. As a person in this country, I can have liberty. I can have freedom. But if I do not have justice, I have nothing. Because otherwise, anything can happen to any of us at any time. So, now that I went through that really fast, I'm going to skip some of these pages. Bondage and slavery, oppression is behind her. We know those shackles are broken. And I told you about the original, that they were up here in this hand, just like hanging there. So, Lady Justice, she's not like how Lady Liberty is just moving. But if you look at Lady Justice, she has that foot there, but she's firm. She's firm. She's not moving. Justice doesn't weigh back and forth and sway. It is what it is. So what that lets me know, again, is that she is staying in one spot. She's standard. She is a force. She is powerful. But many people still seek to manipulate her and control her. But her truth, any truth, is hard to hide or deny, no matter how hard. So let me just go down a little list of some truths that are going on right now in this state, in Florida, that do not exemplify liberty or justice. Right here, where we live, breathe, and have our being. Right now, I'm going to start with what's happening to me. Right now, thousands, including myself, have suddenly become illegal. My history, my relationship. Why my relationship? Well, my being lesbian, don't say gay. My being a woman. Do you know in March of this year, 2023, that the Florida legislatures began to seriously consider a bill that somehow tries to regulate a young girl's monthly menstrual cycle? She has to be 12 years old or above. Oh, yes, she has to be 12 years old and above. And we know that. How do we know that? Because the bill said, quote, menstrual cycle is forbidden to discuss in school if under 12 years of age. So what is that saying? Well, if it happens to you and you happen to be 11 and a half and you're in school, God forbid, can the teacher talk to you? Can she say anything to you? What in the world's going to happen? Yes, our autonomy, women, girls, our bodies have become such a severe threat to some folks that our governor and state legislators reached all the way down to elementary school to control our bodies. And of course, black and brown bodies, people of color, are the scapegoat for just about any crime or irregularity in this entire country, and that includes me. So yes, I take it personally. That includes me, my race, my brother, my sister, my children, my nieces, my nephew, my mom, who's 96 years old. The changes and rollbacks are happening so fast it's hard to keep up. Now I'm going to ask you, me and my questions. Is that liberty? Is that justice? But you see, this is not just Florida's story. It's not my story alone. There are many, many more. Erasing history or ignoring it is not the answer. We have just come too far. We cannot afford to forget because we have been here before. Stonewall, gay pride. Happy Pride family was just a day or two ago. Oh, but they're coming hard and fast and furious for us. Women's suffrage. How can I make it harder for anybody to vote? Women's autonomy over our own bodies so that we can actually choose. Oh, in slavery, we have to erase it. It didn't happen. AP, forget about it. Book banning, we have to do something. It has to stop. And the threat of closing libraries cannot be tolerated. I just don't know what's going on. Most recently, the gutting of affirmative action. While legacy admissions continue, they remain in place at universities and colleges. What does that tell you? If you have the money, if you have the influence, you're in. But if you're struggling and you're on the lower end of it, keep on struggling. You're doing fine. Obama was the president. Everything's wonderful. Stop your lying. So my question is, where's the uprising? Where's the protest? Many of us right now are suffering under unjustified and unholy laws, unholy fears that a very small minority in this country have of others. It's just a small amount. They're just screaming and making so much noise. My friends, my sisters, my brothers, my siblings, we as a nation, we cannot afford to be ignorant as history is being erased. Our civil liberties are being rolled back. We cannot sit back as folks attempt to take over the Capitol and act as though it's okay. Just say, no, I don't know, it's all right. No. They're trying to overthrow the government. We must no longer let ignorance fuel the unholy fears of others, other history, other cultures, other races, other ethnicities. So much so that we don't even want to count their votes. We're going to make it as difficult as possible, even make it harder for them to actually have the right. No liberty or justice for you. But listen up. Listen now, listen, this is so important. All the while, the real danger is the slow stripping away of the rights of liberty and justice for all of us. If they come for me, they're coming for you. We know this as we are currently in a country whose laws are spiraling out of control, attempting to take and destroy centuries of work that we've accomplished. I don't know what happened, but somehow we've replaced the virtues of love, joy, compassion, peace, kindness with rules and laws of conduct that spark fear and cause oppression. Why? The late Wayne Dyer, yeah, I know I'm going over a little. The late Dr. Wayne Dyer summarized it like this when reflecting on the Tao Te Ching, and this is what he said. When one sees laws or rules as solely responsible for the effective virtues of kindness, justice, compassion, and chooses not to live by them, and instead try to enforce them, then chaos ensues. Loyalists appear, and patriotism is born. Yeah, patriotism. My friends, we have a choice here. We can choose to live from our hearts, viewing these virtues as individual responsibilities. And for me, I'm just going to say it for me, this means demonstrating in all my affairs kindness, justice, and compassion. This is love in action. I allow love to lead the way, and I am confident that you can do the same. You see, we know that it is not race, it is not strength, it's not power, money that guides our being. It is love and it is trust. We are subject to laws governing our society because without them it appears that chaos ensues, as Wayne Dyer said. But my friends, I think we can agree that chaos arises not because we are without laws, but because of the absence of the effective virtues such as compassion, joy, peace, gentleness, and the like. We know inherently that there are no laws against these things. Why do we fight against them? I have heard, and my Christians out there, I know you're gonna know this real, you're probably already following along with the fruits of the Spirit. However, I have heard that these virtues are not just written on a piece of paper, not just written on a scroll, but these virtues, love, joy, peace, gentleness, kindness, these are written on your heart, in your heart. We need only to heed them. We know right from wrong. We just have to heed them. And then that old dragon, some people call him a serpent, that instigator of fear, can keep on keeping on, just keep on crawling where you crawl, and we'll do what we do. Because the snake itself, it never, ever was the problem. It was never the enemy. It was only a reminder of the chaos that ensues when we fall away from the light and love of truth and liberty for all. So in closing, today, as we continue forward motion into this 21st century, let us recognize that without the pillars of liberty and justice, without these two pillars of liberty and justice, we will continue to have chaos. Let us remember these great ladies. These goddesses are still with us. Liberty, justice. Allow these two pillars of our nation to remind us to let ambivalence fall away. Let us find the courage to examine ourselves in their presence by checking the fear of others and to move away from classism, racism, oppression in any form. And this is going to require honest self-examination. You see, the original goddess of justice, Maat, of Kemet, that was her original name, Kemet, not Egypt. The original goddess, she had scales, Wayne, just as Lady Justice. But it was different. Her scales were to weigh one's heart against that of a feather. Classism, racism, oppression, they are heavy weights to bear. We must turn from them and let them go. For without liberty and justice, there will be no peace in our nation. I think we can do it. I think we can find the courage to love enough to hold open the golden door. You know, there's a golden door. The golden door of liberty and justice for all. I hope you think so also. Amen and Ashe.
Can you hear me now? Okay. It's time for our offertory. We appreciate your generous donations, which support our dedicated staff, our beautiful facilities, our inspiring services, our interesting activities, and our social outreach at All Faiths. And if you are with us online, you can mail a check or visit our website at allfaithsuu.org, and our morning offering will now be taken. Thank you.
Imagine above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. You imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Feel free to sing along. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. No need for greed or hunger, or brotherhood for all, or brotherhood for all. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Thank you.
Regina. You've just heard a wonderful sermon about these two wonderful ladies, and it moved me deeply. Thank you, Albie. And we have here at All Faiths another wonderful lady who is a pillar of our congregation. And it is my great pleasure today to present to Regina Kilmartin our Flame Keepers Award for all of your years of service and love
Thank
to
you.
all of us
Thank
here.
you.
Regina, for the last 10 months, you have held us up. You have supported us. You have cried with us. But you have kept us going. And there's nothing more we can say, but thank you. We appreciate you.
Wow.
We love you.
Thank you. This is a surprise.
That was a point.
Thank you so much. And
One other thing, Regina has a birthday this week, and I want to sing happy birthday to her. Carlos, let's all sing happy birthday to Regina.
let me get a tissue.
Happy birthday, Regina. Happy birthday to
Thank you all. Thank you so much for that. Wow. More important than my birthday is July 23rd. I will be here for 14 years. and there's no place I'd rather be. Wow, that was a surprise. Well, speaking of appreciation, thank you, Albie, for that wonderful talk. It was just so powerful, and we really have to stop the chaos. We have to stop the chaos. Thank you, Carlos, for your beautiful music, and Joyce Schaefer for the flowers today, and our greeters who are always out front greeting you as you come through our golden doors, and Joe Gayton, our sexton, who's always greeting you in the parking lot before you get to the golden doors. And thank you, Brad, for recording today, and Ed on sound, and hopefully I didn't forget anybody. So it's good to be connected in whatever way we can. At this time, I'd like to ask Carol if she would come up and please extinguish the chalice.
Postlude, closing words.
Oh, the closing words. Why don't I do that? I'm so flustered. I had no idea that this was happening. Okay, hold all those thoughts for a moment. The closing words are by William Shakespeare, and I will not do this justice. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest it becomes. The throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power. The attribute of awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above all sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the heart of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show like God's, with mercy seasons justice. Thank you.
Is it?
Oh, well, wait. No, I'll call you back up in a minute.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked
I messed
for
up.
all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you, defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, well, there's pride in every American heart. It's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you, Carlos. And now I'll ask Carol to come up and please extinguish the chalice. If you would repeat the words that are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. And now please join us for coffee, July birthday cake, and conversation in our social hall.